Yeah, it seems like everybody's running to the race. Hold on, let me close my door real quick and I'll just get to it. But first things first, I'm just gonna put the cats inside the garage so they can get some sleep. Okay, wait. Since you're here, is it possible to get an LC version of myself? Collaborate with Pale Rider for Missing Link. Wait, what do you mean? Like an actual character? Oh, like thrown into the mix of this. Yeah. As if you can find a particular Twitter post, then you can post the character in question. So I should be able to do that. I'm just gonna be spitballing things for a moment. Okay. I mean, if anything, if you're coming up with like a VTuber yourself, with a VTuber design for yourself, then just go with what you feel is best, but have like a design sheet just on hand, just to be sure of like what references you're pulling from and how you want to like differentiate things. The most I would also recommend is never reference from other VTubers as a recipe for disaster, as has been illustrated time and time again. As far as artists go, I guess the best way to look is like look on VGen, because fuck looking on Twitter in order to see exactly where you can find artists. Because if you say anything in reference to artists, commissions, or anything of the sort, you summon the bots unless if you kind of censor a certain way. So VGen is probably your best bet if you want to look for like someone to like hash out some character designs first. Like I'm currently working on a design sheet of my own for another form, but I don't want to say too much. I want to be my nomad technological self. Fair. Absolutely fair. You want to go as much against the grain as possible at times. You want to be away from the pack, never with the pack. You don't know if the pack's gonna turn on you and eat you alive, bones and all. They'll probably take your bones home and just wear as a trophy. But let me get into the nitty-gritty of all this and show exactly what I'm going to be working on. So, the overall premise of this particular improv exercise, especially since I emphasize on in lore, is essentially ready for psychoanalyze. Well, I'm not psychoanalyzing, I'm just kind of taking a guess here, Deeds. I'm taking a wild guess as far as like what you and these lovely subjects or clients are going to be pinpointed on, essentially. So I know I kind of let this out in the open too, but if anybody wants to kind of like give me a lore accurate reason as to why you'd be coming for me for help, it would be your opportunity to just kind of hop on call and just tell me and let me know what exactly do you want. So I guess I can probably also spend this time to illustrate what kind of services I'll be kind of pulling from. So service types. We have the usual repair, recovery. I'm just also add these dashes here so it's a bit easier. Search and destroy. What else could also be a nice little thing that an engineer like myself would be getting involved in terms of my situation? Sent to win? Okay. I'll just refresh once I get the chance and we'll get to that. Oh, and it looks like it got refresh for a moment. But it'll be some time before I start taking a look at some fun stuff there. And I hope that you actually it is safe to show on stream too. Just want to like add that if your OCs are submitted, OCs or VTubers are kind of safe to show. I don't want to get bebopped off to the platform because some TNA was on the screen for just a split second and I realized too late. That'll be a drag. It's safe? Good. Okay, so we have repair and recovery, search and destroy, modification, recycling, and I guess the last thing we'll probably add into the mix would be wet work. Because combat engineer. Anything that involves a bit of hands-on experience when it comes to just handling matters with grace or with violence. Of course, there's going to be something that's going to involve some blood being spilled. So these are pretty much the main things I'll be using as a bit of a criteria as far as like what kind of things my clients will be coming in for. All right, there we go. So, since Deets, you're here, I can probably start with you. Default PNG plus 3 alters. I'm guessing there's like 3 different cases? Or wait, 4 different cases, or just all in one? My guess would be all in one. Unless if we got... Wonder what this would be. Wonder what this would be. Multiple arms. And so on. I'm kind of curious as I'm kind of curious at what he would be asking for in terms of like services. All right, let me refresh. Oh, right. If you got OCs, I probably also need some names. I know who they are, but for anybody else that does not know, I'm gonna have to at least give somebody some idea or context as far as who they are. First is Bo, and the other is Quail. And I guess also occupation would also help too, considering what they do. Or I can probably like pinpoint exactly what they do from just a glance, but absolutes may do help in giving me a good idea of like where to start. Okay, Bo is a fantasy guild merc, and Quail is a mechanical merc. John Bond, he is a steampunk cyborg. There'll be another interesting case in order to work on too. Aoi is a penguin, a confused penguin. It'll be interesting to kind of come up with like Or actually, no. There might be some things that can actually pinpoint it as far as like what could be replaced or what can be repaired. It's just going to be a matter of whether or not my hypothesis is ideal. So, let's start with deeds, like I mentioned before. So let me pull up Google Docs. We're all doing this live. We're doing it live. We're doing it live. You're at blank slate? Of course, because you don't have like much of an image to have showcased. You're legit. Invisible. All right. So let us type this out. We're going to do expectation versus reality. That way we can also kind of have a nice little separation point just in case if we're off the mark. Okay, so let's get started. So since I already know a good amount about you, Deeds, the kind of work that I'll be looking from you would probably be a good combination of one of two things: modification and search and destroy. Let me just also put this up here just so I am also keeping good track. Now, the reason why I would probably say search and destroy and wet work, or modification and search and destroy, is for like mostly two things. Two things kind of come to mind. One, you need someone in order to make sure that your prosthetics are in proper working order. But say if you want someone that needs to like get things worked out pretty fast, and above all else, someone who is also from another dimension or someone with a bit more out there experience to kind of give you something that might give you a huge leg up over the competition. Though the modifications I could probably give you will be anything above grade compared to those within your particular realm. That said, there's also the added risk of whether or not you will be able to handle those modifications, or might drive to cyberpsychosis, depending on how much strain is being applied whenever you use it. So it does take a bit of like back and forth in order to consider what kind of things to calibrate. Nah, I'd win. I admire your confidence. I truly do admire your confidence, but you may never know. I could practically be the potion seller. Potion seller, give me your strongest potions. I'm afraid these potions might not be ideal for you. Right, I almost forgot about that. But yeah. Give you a heart attack? I can't say good because I'm honestly kind of worried. But at the same time, it does serve its purpose for contextual reasons. If anybody is old enough to remember that when Paranoia Agent was pretty much showing on Adult Swim, the time that it played, you would get in trouble depending on how young you were if you're watching Adult Swim. And boy, was that one of those things that really did give anybody a heart attack if they had the volumes just slightly up on CRT TVs. But it was good green. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, it's essentially the whole potion seller thing, where my modifications may not be as ideal when it comes to being able to withstand it, despite the rewards that come with it. But at the same time, the benefits kind of outweigh the benefits kind of outweigh the cons that come with it, even if the cons do kind of catch up to you relatively quickly. But if you actually do manage to like overcome that, it may become like the strongest asset in your arsenal in comparison to, like, say, your ability to like time travel or do other crazy stuff in the process. Search and destroy. You to see if there's time later? Right. Okay. Search and destroy would probably be more for like running interference, for like trying to provide a distraction against certain corpos that might be pursuing you in the process. So this would probably give you enough leeway in order to just get away as fast as possible or as quick to kind of get a bit of an operation going. So either an opening or an escape plan. If you want me to find something to break, you want me to find something to destroy, detonate, all that good stuff, to give you enough time in order to steal what you need to steal, or just take out whoever you need to take out, that's it. That is going to be your ticket in or out, depending on what you need or what you need to do. We're playing P3R, I guess DLC. How far into it are you? Without giving spoilers, just in case if people are still kind of like making some progress on that. About 40%? Ah, not bad. Modification. Provide over-the-counter mods and enhancements. Drawbacks towards added strain or even possible cyber psychosis should one succumb to its influences. search and destroy. Provide distractions. Long enough for infill or exfiltration. Depending on mission requirements. So that should be the kind of services I'll probably be providing for you in particular, Deeds. Because you don't want somebody that would not only leave a bit of a trail, but also you want someone that could be your back alley doctor's doctor, so to speak. The one that actually puts Ripperdocs to shame, but has to keep a low profile because of what kind of product I'm carrying. So I'm just gonna be the kind of person that's just gonna hang back for reasons. And my service will be very expensive, especially when it comes to search and destroy because of the added risk. So it's just that. So does that sound like that's on the mark for the kind of service you're looking for from me? Or would you like to hop on call and just give some actual info as far as like what services you would want? Of the kind of services I have listed here. That's about it? Yes. Sweet. Score one for me.
Take him to Detroit.
No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No! No!
Sorry, what is this? This is Troubleshooter. Basically an in-lore troubleshooter stream where I try to figure out exactly what kind of case you would ask of me to take care of in lore. So this is basically like an improv exercise, just for funsies. I like to do some improv stuff, so this is kind of my wheelhouse. So, I already have Deets done, but I have a feeling that I might want to get a little bit more context as far as what this version of Deets wants. Maybe it might be the same thing. Maybe it might be like search and destroy that don't need repair or recycle. Wait, are you sure you wouldn't need recycle for like any like old parts or anything you probably ripped from some poor bastard that was in your way? Well, that one needs big help. I can see that he needs a lot of help. As far as what, I have to like figure out. Maybe it might be modification. Maybe it might be repair and recovery just to like fix whatever pixels are going on that's here. Looks like he's stuck in the Nintendo 64 era. But hey, that might be a serviceable avatar for infiltration because no one would actually take that seriously. You could just oh, PS1. I think this might be SmackDown Know Your Role. If I remember correctly, this is definitely SmackDown Know Your Role. I remember having that game and just playing the ever-loving crap out of it. There was that, and there was like WCW No Mercy. No, wait. Was it No Mercy or Warzone? I'm kind of drawing a blank at which WCW game was on the PS1, because I know No Mercy was on Nintendo 64. That much I remember. I was like, what's good, Schwein? Okay, so we have these done. For all the other versions of Deets, this definitely does. That might be repair and recovery right there. That's definitely modification, just to make sure the arms are functioning properly. Or just fine-tuning, essentially fine-tuning the microphone as well, so you got that rich studio sound. And a whole lot of zippers too. Yeah, Twitter is definitely notorious for like crunching things a lot, especially if they're like a very high file size too. Okay, next. Let me also add him too. Alright, so next we have John Borg. He is a steampunk cyborg. That much a steampunk business bot. He would still classify a cyborg though, right? I think it would still classify as a cyborg. Yeah, I think so. Yes. Alright, so let me think. As far as the services to kind of pick from, if there's a human brain, then yeah. Okay, so that's a good barrier. That's a good barometer then, because it wouldn't exactly work if someone has like a brain case, or it's just mostly like some sort of robotic or some sort of CPU system. But as far as like what I could actually provide in terms of casing for John Borg, I would probably go with recycling. Especially considering the fact that he runs a business. He's a steampunk business. And whenever it comes to like anything involving steampunk, you know people are going to be repurposing old machinery just for the heck of it. Just to kind of get a good leg up on the other people so they can have like better technology as well as some unique concepts for machinery. Because steampunk is definitely one of those kinds of genres where I think it does take a nice little page of cyberpunk in terms of like technological ingenuity, but it's much more Wild West oriented. So if he wants to keep running a business where scraps and other forms of parts are involved, especially in his wheelhouse, I would definitely say that recycling would probably be the next best thing for him, just to kind of feed that business going. As far as what could be, maybe salvage, just plain salvage. Because you know, when it comes to like steampunk stuff, a lot of machines could be very large, larger than life, essentially. Like going back to Wild Wild West, you had that giant steampunk robot that had to be taken down, otherwise it was going to cause a lot of trouble. Either that or just like old steampunk weapons too, or just gadgets. There's a myriad of things they could just add to the salvage market in the steampunk universe that just practically prints money. And if you don't have anything in order to just kind of get a good leg up on that, then you could maybe work something out and just figure out what things can I also... Oh, right. Recycling modification. Yeah, because let's think. Cyberpunk and steampunk thrive off of modifications. Yeah, shit, this is actually a lot more. It's like 3 full services that I could provide. And I guess if it comes down to him himself, it could be just repair, recovery, and modification, or just recycling and modification. Or recycling and repair and recovery. Just so I can just get things working and up and running. So the amount of work that could be done gives me an incentive to just find whatever parts I can and just bash them together into just some nice machinery. Turn something into a pocket watch out of just scraps. Just work out my whole Tony Stark shit. I could be the guy. Recovering and repurposing machinery, salvage, and foreign tech to resell and provide new stock for business ventures. Can charge extra for larger scale machinery that has extra risk involved. So there's that. Because think about it. There's a lot of gears involved, especially when it comes to steampunk. Gears, steam, and anything that could probably be implemented to a Rube Goldberg machine. The last thing you want to do is get caught in some gears and you just become the grease for it. So it does entice me to have some hazard pay options. There are some hazard fees just to kind of cover my ass, just in the worst case scenario, you know? Okay, next we have Bo, who is a fantasy guild merc. Okay, so search and destroy and wet work probably would be the most important things to kind of instill for services for mercs in particular. Why? Almost the same reason as deeds. I want to be able to provide a distraction. However, wet work, since it'll be much more on the front lines, I'll be still kind of hanging back, providing like cover fire. But if worse comes to worse, I'm definitely going to be having to close the distance, or at least create some openings for this bloodthirsty bunny of a mercenary to just complete her job with a bit more efficiency. Especially dealing with like enemies that utilize projectiles more often, or have like very highly armored vehicles at their disposal, or even like dealing with like dragons. You want to have something that can pierce armor like a motherfucker, and I do have that in spades. Mostly because of the Orthros anti-material rifle that could just also charge the ammunition at will. Even though it's a bit of extra recoil, that's possible to dislocate someone's shoulder if not careful. Taking down a dragon or anything like that shouldn't be much of a problem if it's just 1 or 2 shots. Unless if it's like an elder dragon, then that might be a bit of a problem, considering they may have much more tempered scales and very rough skin, or very tense musculature structures that can make it tough to just hit them, unless you hit them in the neck. But what if they're a no-neck chump? Right between the eyes. Or hit them in the eyes. If it's a very squishy weak point, then you're always going to have to rely on your accuracy and your grit to make sure you don't miss that shot. However, it does come with a bit of a caveat when it comes to doing search and destroy in a fantasy world, because I don't really have a whole lot of experience with fantasy stuff. Ergo, it's gonna be a bit of a finder's fee to try to figure out what ways to really create things from almost nothing but whatever ingredients I have available. If it allows me to create explosives, or allows me to create some sort of special kind of ammunition, or just create ammunition in general, then yeah, I'm gonna have to like make amends for that particular aspect. She has just quick coil like that long sword. She clears the bandit camps and slaughters whoever she's paid to kill. Awfully fast too, considering her temperament. So I guess search and destroy in my case would probably be just for dealing with like very tough structures that can not only allow her to do her work, but also, in the same vein as these, just provide a distraction so she can just keep doing her work, or just have a nice little get out of jail free card. Granted, she is extremely hard to catch because of her speed and her ferocity, but can't exactly underestimate the power of teamwork either. Because I would be the one that would just be making sure that, one, I'll be able to clear the scene as far and fast as possible, and two, make sure I am anyone else who's working for me is safe. And the blade kick too, and that's probably like a very wide sweeping attack as well, so you can just kind of go with that. So wet work. Mainly dealing with enemies with projectile weaponry and attack. Yeah, I think that also kind of makes sense too. If I'm doing wet work, I'll also be making sure that anybody that can just either hit you from a distance or can actually cast magic gets shut up fast. just imagine like the enemy maze just trying to like do like some sort of incantation, and the moment that they raise their staff, they just get split in two by a 50 caliber round. Just imagine that. Oh, fun times. Fun times. We also got Quail. Also from Seiko. Yep, this is Quail. Yeah, some gate shit. Exactly, some gate shit. I was trying to avoid mentioning gate, but it just kind of works too well. It just kind of works very, very well considering the whole pretense of it, or the whole premise of it. Yeah, so this is Quail. She's a mech pilot with an AI as well. So, in this case, I'll probably be offering repair and recovery. As well as modifications. Let me also add another thing too. Search and destroy. Search and destroy armor structure and fortifications to allow easier access, as well as exit. Provide distractions to instill chaos in enemy backline. To fill mission unabated. Yeah. Repair recovery and modifications. Since we're on this particular topic for Quail, this is mostly just providing maybe some. Hey, Kyo. Well, it's going pretty good so far. Just making some progress into like some guesses here and there, and also having a little bit of fun with it too. How about you, man? What you been up to? How you doing? How you holding up, and how you enjoying your Sunday, or what's left of the Sunday? Since she's a mech pilot, Merc, the easiest thing is just repairing the mech just from like any damage that's been done, as well as recovering some other stuff too. Running some runs in Duality since I got to the second. Ah, nice. Wait, it's also a closed beta test, right? Ah, it is. How is it so far, actually? I remember like people had their gripes with like the previous beta, so has anything improved? Game's still a bit scuffed, not gonna lie, but it's still better than last. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's the thing I was kind of wondering. Because there were some stuff that some people had a bit of gripes with. That probably also had me a bit on the fence as far as like giving it a try. Yes, I had practically no problems, but today it started from enemies that just kind of blink. Ooh, that's a bit of an issue there, especially when it comes to like the monster enemies. I'm guessing players aren't really much of. Oh, even the NPC enemy. Jeez. So I guess it might be like a draw distance kind of thing, where it's just they just show up without rhyme, reason, or warning. The close backstory experience is the same from last thing. I think you're gonna have to give me a bit of a refresher as far as like what her backstory was. That's my first coffin into a surprise attack from a bunch of bandits. Had to run out of repair kits. Oh boy. It's not draw distance. I could be 3 feet in front of a cat and it'll teleport just 10 meters away. Ugh. Okay, get back on track. Repair and recovery and modifications. I can say repair and recovery for the mech itself, mainly for like external things, maybe even internal things too. Maybe like something in regards to like the inner frame and maybe replacing some weapons here and there too. Modifications might be a bit more in-depth, considering it might be fiddling around with maybe like the fire control system, so it's calibrated a little bit better, tuned to kind of pinpoint enemies a lot faster, or just even like try some stuff. Because Lord knows, working on giant weaponry like mecha weaponry is a team effort. You can't be Dr. Radon and just have like just a small skeleton crew just really batten down the hatches and just create whatever they can do in order to modify their already existing stuff. You're gonna have to have a team. The best I can do is just really just make sure things don't break bad or break worse than they should. And just also optimize it in a way so I can hit you and hurt you faster and harder before you ever get a chance. So that's pretty much the gist of it. And also, no worries, Kyo. I've been kind of like bouncing back and forth between this and the chat, so I've been kind of flexing a bit of my muscle in terms of multitasking. So repair and recovery. Repair and recovery. Fixing external and frame damage to ensure at least functional to optimal performance in combat and local motion. Also modify and fine tune and feedback. Feeds into support AI for next to seamless using support AI for next to seamless communication interaction. In regards to syncing with your parts, as well as re-establishing connection with any possible networks within the mecha itself and pilot. There we are. Now the last one that we have so far is Allie. Let me also go to her. Hyperactive Penguin, linguistic student. Musical instruments, glow sticks. Also a penguin too, an adorable penguin. But I think and I was gonna kind of joke about this, but the main thing I'll probably be doing is repairing maybe a snow machine just to make sure that there's always some fresh snow, fresh cold snow that she could actually have access to. So repair and recovery might be just the only thing that I can do for her. But in the grander scheme of things, I'll mostly be repairing and recovering like anything that involves her music career stuff, or anything that might help her like process her, or maybe even enhance her language learning abilities too. So mostly computer repair, instrument repair, data recovery, just in case if she lost any files or of the sort. I feel as though that will probably be the main thing I'll be focusing on for her. There's really not much else. Gonna be leaving for a bit? Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know. Like I did say, it was gonna be a bit of a short stream, so it is pretty much the last thing I'm gonna be running into. But maybe I could always do like a bit of an after show just for those that, since I am gonna be posting this, for those that have been kind of like participating in the stream as well. So I do want to make sure that everybody is kind of aware of what has happened, and also, you know, let me also yeah, I can always just stick with that. But realistically, relation to music and linguistic studies. Yeah. Also recover any data that may have been lost. Okay, so realistically repairing any damaged instrument. Let me fix the grammar. Damaged instruments, sound equipment, and computers in relation to music and linguistic studies. Also recover any data that might have been lost or corrupted due to computer fault. I doubt I'll be actually doing any kind of wet work for a penguin that's probably doesn't want to see any like a bloodshed. Maybe the fox would, but not the penguin. Recycling, modification. Like the most I can do as far as like repair is just make sure that everything's put back together. But if it comes to modification, especially tuning instruments, I am the last person to ask for that. Nah. I am not the person that would be the go-to guy for tuning instruments. But I can see, or I've heard, the famous purple stuffed worm from Flapjaw Space with a tuning fork makes a roll blink and Harry Carry rock. Well, I'm gonna need scissors for that. 61 of them. So I'm just gonna have let me have this up in the time being. And if I ever do like a bit of a round 2, or if anybody wants to kind of give me a bit of a correction as far as like what cases they're really looking for, then I could just kind of go back to the whole reality section and just go to the reality section and just work from there. But as far as everything else goes, I think this is pretty much a done deal. So everybody can have a nice little moment to just participate and even just give their input as far as like what they're looking for as far as repairs go. Also, Zivos, where are you? Let me also put this into the title. And center it off, so yeah. Should have more OCs by the time we do another one of these. Oh, bet. That's the reason why I kind of also included OCs too, because I know for a fact that even though I'm still about on the small side, I would want to have some more options to kind of like have fun with, in terms of like seeing what kind of stuff I could improv with. So just limiting myself to VTubers is a bit of a crutch. So seeing what OCs that people have, since I'm pretty sure there's a lot of you that would have a whole myriad of OCs to kind of dump onto me just on the wayside, just so I can just do my handy dandy improvisation skills and just figure out what each character does, what they do, what's their kind of livelihoods, and so on. And just basically fill in the gaps, or just try to guess exactly what they do, how they live, why they exist. Because granted, there can be a lot more OCs than there are VTubers in the world. And I'm pretty sure the next time I ever do this, that's what I'm kind of counting on. Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot more fun to be had when it comes to doing OCs. Even though VTubers can also kind of classify as original characters too, depending on their kind of approach. But beside the point. I think I'm relatively done here. So if you did enjoy the stream, thank you for watching and sticking around for the long haul. Did end up being a very short stream, but it was also a fun stream in my case too. Hope you all had fun as well, as far as like sticking around and just hearing what I had to say and just yapping about what fictional engineering stuff I will be doing for your OCs and so on. But the next time I ever do this, I do look forward to seeing more of y'all, more of your OCs especially. And just to, what's the reality part about? The reality part is basically if someone had an idea, or if someone had a case that they actually wanted, that they would be the ones to say it themselves. The reality of what they're looking for from me as far as what I'm expecting from them. So this is why I'm kind of leaving it open-ended, because I know for a fact that there may be some that are not in the chat at the moment. They might be actually watching the VOD somewhere else or sometime later. And if they want to like chime in as far as like what they really want from me as far as like a case goes, they would tell me. And I'll put that in the reality section. So that's just pretty much the gist of it. So all in all, just to let everybody else know, if you haven't kind of seen the message on Twitter, I will not be streaming this week. Maybe on the weekend, yes, but for this week I'm gonna be focusing on my my practice for tests, which I scheduled for the 23rd on Monday. So wish me well, wish me luck, tell me to kick some ass and all that good stuff. I'm really looking forward to knocking this down and just adding another certification under my belt. Till then, take care, peace out, and see ya Saturday, Sunday, whenever. Or most likely Saturday. Sunday I'm probably not going to be doing much of anything, so I'm just going to be kind of getting some rest so I don't overwhelm myself. Alright, peace. Alright everybody, I'm gonna be sending you to Nox and Bertos. They're currently playing some projects on board, so hey, if you want to stick around for the long haul, by all means. Just keep these golden rules of the raid in mind. Rule number 1, you represent me by proxy, so be your best behavior. Anything you say or do is represent me in my community, so if I do find out you're being a troublemaker, I'm gonna have to deal with you personally. Rule number 2, if you do enjoy the person's content that it sends you to, do enjoy it the best way you can, respectfully and responsibly. Don't break the bank, but break the mold. Break the ice even. Make some friends, make some clips, make some memories, all that good stuff. And rule number 3, and most importantly, be excellent to each other. Because we never know what someone else is going through behind the scenes. Life is tough as it is already, no need to make it any tougher. So, as long as you understand this mission, Fixers, Sentinels, you'll do great things. I hope so. I know so. Till then, you're dismissed. And spread the goodwill.